Welcome everyone, Tactical Lich here. Today we have another exciting tournament battle between me and Raced, this time between the Norskins and the High Elves. Now Raced is coming in with a very interesting army build, coming in with 3 Swordmasters instead of the usual spear and arrow box, and these are not just any Swordmasters. 2 of them have been fully upgraded to 3 gold chevrons. One of them was not, possibly because of the lack of funds, but the other 2 absolute elite status there, 98 leadership, 65 melee attack and 57 melee defense when combined with martial mastery. For the mobility here, 2 Elaren Reaver archers, 2 Dragon Princes, one of them the Fireborn, led by a live mage supporting Tyrion on his horse. On the other side, my Norscan army is my typical armor debuff combo build I bring against the High Elves. A front line of Marauders mixed in with Marauder champions backed up by 2 Familiar Warriors. As for mobility here, a lot of Wolves and Hounds, Norscan Warhounds plus an Ice Wolf on each flank. At the back, 2 units of Armored Skin Wolves for their anti-large status and also the extra bit of survivability, hoping to last longer against the High Elf Cav. As for leadership, we have a Shaman Sorcerer of Metal coming in with Searing Doom, Plague of Rust, and Final Transmutation, supporting Wolfric the Wanderer coming in with his full loadout, including Hunter of Champions, Fight or Die, Sea Fang, and Foe Seeker. Actually, I didn't bring Sword of Torgold, so not quite the full loadout. Anyways, that's it for the army builds. Now let's see how Race Elite Swordmaster army build will do against my armor debuff combo. Honestly, I'm quite confident in this matchup. I've used this build before multiple times and have been quite successful against the High Elves. However, this time I might be proven wrong, as my opponent Raced has been prepared for my heavy infantry front line with all those elite swordmasters able to cleave through my Marauder champions and Marauder infantry alike. Now I'll be going into fast forward for a bit because I still need some time for my army to move up, while my opponent here will be lining up the staunch line of swords. No spears today, just swords, but they are more than enough to deal with my rather lacking quality Marauder infantry and all that. The Swordmasters might not have anti-large or charge defense, but they have more than enough melee stats and armor piercing to deal with the Familiar Warriors, who are not the greatest melee combatants. I'll be standing my Marauder champions and Marauders in a line. They will no doubt be teared up by all those Swordmasters, but I need them to stand in line, eat the charge, so that the Swordmasters would line up for a perfect Sea Fang, doing substantial damage to the Swordmasters, but Race here already dropping in some heals, Earthblood, keeping those golden Swordmasters in the fight, while on the flank there, these Norscan Warhounds and Ice Wolves got caught by the rather swift and agile Dragon Princes, and they will be ran down, no doubt. So I'll need to invest some of my resources, some of these mobility Skin Wolves, to hold back my opponent's mobility. While in the middle there, a overcast Final Transmutation has targeted a blob of Swordmasters, Dragon Princes, and Tyrion, doing some pretty noticeable damage, but unfortunately that is not quite enough to break those elite High Elves who have insane leadership right now, all thanks to those gold chevrons. I'm flanking around with my mobility, trying to do some rear charging to just run them down and break their backs, but right now the Swordmasters have cleaned up most of my infantry here. Even the champions have taken substantial damage, and the Familiar Warriors are not doing enough against the Swordmasters. And at the back there, the Skin Wolves, because I don't have any magic to support them in this fight, were ran down by those Fireborn and Elaren Reaver archers. My Hounds and Wolves are also being dealt with. I'm trying to kill off Tyrion with a combination of Plague of Rust plus Wolfric the Wanderer, trying to snipe him out, but this is simply not working because Tyrion has such elite melee stats, 72 melee defense thanks to martial mastery. The High Elf chat is holding in this fight just fine. If I went for some Searing Dooms instead, just trying to thin out those Dragon Princes and Swordmasters, maybe I would have a better chance, but right now I am definitely making that mistake here, wasting a lot of Winds of Magic in Final Transmutation and Plague of Rust when the area of effect bombardment would be much better in dealing with my opponent's cavalry and infantry. Another Sea Fang rode through the High Elf formations, but not doing much to their army at all. The Swordmaster is still fighting to the last man standing, 200 HP left, 9 unit models. Even after taking so much damage, they are still holding on to their leadership, cleaving a bloody path through the Marauder infantry and doing some good damage to the Familiar Warriors as well. At this point, balance of power is heavily against me. I do not have healing on Wolfric the Wanderer, so all the damage he took was definitely final. The Swordmasters, in the other hand, are still healing back up, all thanks to the Earthblood from the live mage. Wolfric just have to avoid combat for now, as the Marauders trying to swarm those Swordmasters with their numbers advantage. You can see that even the non-gold Swordmasters have earned back a chevron and killed a lot of Marauders thanks to their elite anti-infantry bonus. Fireborn charging into the fray once more using their anti-large. They're doing massive damage even against the heavily armored familiar warriors. The familiar warriors are fighting back, doing some good damage, but unfortunately just not quite enough to turn this game around. Balance of power is more and more against me right now. Searing Doom whittling down some of these Fireborn, but then they can just simply get healed back up with some Earth Blood. Now, Shaman Sorcerer is still fighting in the fray, not taking too much damage overall, but the Wolfric the Wanderer and the Skin Wolves are running out of health. Another combination of Hunter of Champions and Plague of Rust trying to boost my damage against Tyrion, but Tyrion countering with a feint and riposte. The Skin Wolves are faltering, Wolfric has been routed, as the Fireborn are now overwhelming the last bastion of strength on the Norskin side. The Skin Wolves break, army losses is hit, and Race takes this victory. For a quick rundown of battle performances, the Familiar Warriors did fine. However, their support, the infantry and the mobility, the Hounds and Ice Wolves all got melted by the super elite High Elves. So even with their anti-infantry and armor piercing, they were not able to completely obliterate those Swordmasters of Hoeth. As for the Skin Wolves, one of them got caught and overwhelmed by the Fireborn and the Ilarian Reaver Archers, while the other one did some pretty good damage but not able to earn back their own cost. Again, my biggest mistake was spending too much magic on Plague of Rust and Final Transmutation, not using the Searing Doom to its best effect when it was the best spell I had against my opponent's elite army. Wolfric the Wanderer did a lot of damage with his bolt, but unfortunately the High Elves held and healed back a lot of that damage with their Lore of Life spell. As for the High Elf army here, the Dragon Princes, the regular one didn't do much, but the Fireborn absolutely wrecked my mobility, while the Swordmasters carrying their own weight here, cutting down Marauder infantry and Familiar warriors, while the Ilarian Reaver archers not having a lot of good targets to engage. Tyrion mostly there just to tank the damage and survive against the onslaught of Wolfric and his Hunter of Champions. And yeah, that's it for today's battle. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you want to see more Total War Warhammer multiplayer action, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Tactical Lich, signing out.